What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode, what is this, 4?
No, it's 5.
This is 5?
I believe it's 5.
No, I think it's 4.
No, I think you're wrong.
Is it? Is it?
Okay, we had 2. Then we had Marcus, who didn't get a show. Then we had Earl.
But we didn't post Marcus's.
But we did one in place of it.
Earl. Yeah, you're right. So, episode 5.
That's episode 5.
Episode 5 of the SBP, the Stephen Browning's podcast. You got me, Stephen Browning. You got Stephen Browning, the dude right here. And who's your little friend down here?
Hey, that is my longtime buddy. That is little mini me.
Mini Stevie
Mini
B.
Stevie B. Got that in 1983 at the Sports Award. And everybody had one on the table. I just happened to grab that one and sneak off with it. Hope Coach Eggers don't notice it. He might want him back.
He might want him back. Now, it's been 5 weeks, and you can tell.
Yeah, because you got some scruffy hair there. You're gonna need to go see Caleb with the Clippers.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go see Caleb with the Clippers, and you should too.
Please.
Because like we've been telling you, Caleb with the Clippers is the best barber around. He can get you right, whatever you need, fade, mullet, we've been saying it. He can do it all. You need to go see him. Caleb with the Clippers, all his stuff will be in the link down low. Go see him. He's located in Man, West Virginia. He'll get you right. Caleb with the Clippers. Go holler at him. So, I figured we would change things up a little bit. A little break from the normal. We might as well start with a little local action this week.
All right. High school football.
It was probably the biggest game of the week.
Hey, let's go back to middle school.
Yep.
I think Brandon in the middle school Timberwolves got a big win at Man. Makes them 4-2. They got 2 games left in the regular season. They went out. They'll get a play probably at Winfield for the conference championship.
And they beat Man pretty good. And I'm not saying I expected them to lose, but I didn't expect them to whoop them.
I didn't either. I really thought it would be a really hard fought ball game and maybe low scoring even. But Logan put up a bunch of points in that ball game. Maybe coming around somewhat, and they got a lot of youth playing. They do.
They got look. Gage will graduate, or not graduate from the 8th grade. He'll go to high school.
And the quarterback, the Johnson kid will quarterback.
Yeah, but they got a bunch of little 7th graders that can play.
That are their
foundation
skill position kids, and defensively as well. So yeah, I thought that was good. Logan high school football,
probably the biggest game of the week.
Bad news for them.
Yep.
Last Friday, Jackson Koger on a scramble.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he was any contact much of anything, but maybe a hard stop or a turn, but unfortunately tore his ACL.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't. It looked like something happened when he was doing, because it was non-contact.
Yeah.
He was on the sideline. We actually have a perfect shot of it. And you could tell he had just buckled it in.
Yeah,
those are always the worst.
That's bad news. Bad news for the Wildcat football team. Bad news for the Wildcat basketball team. He's an integral part of all that. The initial diagnosis, I guess, was surgery and minimum 6 months. I think they're going to go see some other people about, possibly some new procedures, but that's stuff to be found
tough.
out. Yeah, it is. But so in comes Drew Berry on 3 days of practice, going to Scott, ranked number 1, good football team.
You can't get put in a tougher environment.
Packed out.
Yeah, no,
packed out.
Whole place.
Brown, both sides.
Didn't
packed
matter.
out.
It was packed.
Great crowd enthusiasm on both sides. They were all their student body was getting after it on both sides. Great atmosphere to be in. First ball game at your starting quarterback spot. Probably would have been an underdog regardless if Jackson's in there. You go in.
And you have a chance to win.
And Scott goes down the field and scores. You get the ball back. First play, you get a penalty. Second play, you throw an interception and a penalty on top of that they declined. So was going bad at first. Had a chance to score maybe late in that half. Would have cut it to a touchdown. Had done that, different ball. But anyway,
still
right back in it.
Still
found a little tool. So I think Drew was 22 for 32 passing. had 3 interceptions, but maybe 2 touchdowns. I think one of those was a tip ball. But also a bright spot was the running back position from in the second half.
From Gabe Workman.
From Gabe Workman, handed the ball off to Gabe, and he ran hard. And
He ran hard and he looked natural. It looked like he was used to having a
I want to see
football in
him
his
cover
hands.
that ball a little bit. And
He was holding it out
in the
there,
holes,
taking it
but-
over people's heads. I told you that the other day. I
But
saw it the other day.
I thought I was encouraged by that. So I looked at the rest of the season. They got a real opportunity to win out, and which would put them in a pretty good spot. So hopefully that they can do that and move on with it. What you got on that?
I agree. Like you said, I was more surprised that Drew bounced back from throwing that first pick.
Yeah.
Because that's something that you think about that.
I know.
This is my first big game. There's all these people around. My first pass I throw is a pick. Now, obviously, that was a design play. And that was probably like we're going to see if we can get him one time quick. So throw a jump ball up to Julius. But still.
No, I thought he bounced back well, but
And then he comes down and marches them down the field.
he did a lot. He hit a lot of those intermediate pass routes. I thought Garrett made some good catches in the middle of the
And
field.
Slack made some crazy catches on that.
Aiden Slack's at a level that is not. I don't know if we see the wide receiver around here at that. The breakaway speed he has goes and gets. He reads the ball well, and he goes
Meets
and
the
meets
ball.
it.
He does it.
Garrett does the same thing with that. He across
both
the
meet the
across
pass.
the middle. They both receive it well. Aiden's got a better gear, just a different gear. But I thought they both.
And Aiden's also a dog on defense.
Yeah, he does.
Now, Hope, we didn't talk about this. Bryce Davis had 21 tackles.
Can you believe that? I saw that. 21 tackles.
21
You
tackles.
saw him doing it against teams that maybe you thought weren't, and you're going, okay,
Okay,
maybe.
he's getting 15, 17
Yeah,
tackles
against
against Sissonville.
But
No,
number one
number
team-
one team in the state
First play.
that ran the ball.
He early
Heavy.
on the first possession, Scott's first possession, he really popped somebody.
Mm-hmm.
He said, okay, he's in the ball game.
I think he's the best linebacker in the state. I don't know how you can say
Well,
he's not.
It's hard.
Numbers-wise.
Okay, numbers-wise, but it's hard when you don't see
Yeah.
Martinsburg, you don't see Spring Valley, you don't see Morgantown. We don't see those teams play.
But we don't
But-
see anybody else putting up numbers like this.
We don't.
And you would see.
And it could be a lot of factors, but obviously he has some next level abilities at that spot. It's a different world though when you step up to there.
And you see him actually, you see him chasing people down the flats too, getting to him. He's impressed me. He's impressed me a lot. The defense actually impressed me.
Second half was much better.
I tell you what though, I don't know. I think Winfield's better than Scott.
Have they played each other?
I don't think they have. I could be wrong.
I'm not sure. But we'll check it out. But anyway,
Yeah, check it out. But
I think Winfield handled Logan
better.
easy.
Yeah, that's better to say.
All right. Moving on.
Now, let's get to the NFL.
All right. NFL.
Let's see. We had a couple good games, couple bad games. Let's start with the most boring game I've ever seen in my life.
Did you even see it?
Didn't watch it. We had
That was the Colts and the Broncos,
Oh, boy.
and the final score was 12-9, all field goals. And I think at the end of regulation, tied 9-9, I believe the crowd started filing out of the stadium there in Denver.
there wasn't a touchdown score.
No touchdowns.
Let me ask you a question. Now I know you were a big Baker guy. Who's the bigger letdown?
Right now, they're
Russell or Baker?
Russell Wilson is
So
by far.
who's the worst? They got to be the two of the worst starting quarterbacks in the league right now.
I think there were 3 of them, and those 2 were in that. And look, I looked a lot of this because I am a Baker fan, and I think Baker got a bad deal last year. But listening to a lot of sports,
Analysts.
not laying it all on Baker. There's a lot of it on the rest of that group too. But anyway, right now numbers are.
He threw a pick six.
I'm more
I can't find it.
unimpressed with Russell Wilson from being who he was at Seattle,
At Winfield, the 28th.
They play at Winfield the 28th, so we'll figure it out.
and I think Logan's idle.
Oh, so we will figure it out.
Yeah. Russell Wilson being who he was at Seattle.
It's incredible to
To
me
be
how
good.
bad he is.
He was 21 for 39 with 2 interceptions. And it's just not Russell Wilson.
No, it's not. It's like everything we've seen has just, it's bizarro world.
It is. It's a Seinfeld bizarre.
It's a
world.
bizarro world.
He's the opposite. So yeah, terrible game. Browns lost again. I think they tried to make a move and get a linebacker this week. Got to have something. Defense is terrible.
Now, I got to eat some words on that. I said, now, bad play call at the end, regardless. But I said that Jacoby Brissett will not lose you games. He threw a bad pick.
He threw a bad pick.
Even if he gets that ball through the linebacker, I think the safety picks it off.
Yeah, but
We were up 2. I don't know why we wouldn't kick a field goal
kick the field
to
goal.
go up.
Well, maybe because we missed one earlier in the ball game.
It's a
Anyway.
it was like it would have been like a 20-yard field goal.
You
You got to
You got to kick it.
Look.
All right, I'm moving on with the Browns. Let's take a Giants again, still rolling.
I can't believe
rolling.
that.
Beat the Packs 4-1.
Beat the
Impressive.
Packers.
Yeah, Bills, Steelers, Steelers. Who is that team in Pittsburgh?
Aaron Rodgers had a QBR of 53.
Yeah, but who's that team playing in Pittsburgh?
That's the team I like watching play in Pittsburgh. I think Josh Allen had 400 and some yards in the air. Oh my gosh.
Allen.
What we got to talk about is Gabe. What's his last name? Gabe. Maybe Brown. No, Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis had, let's see, 3 receptions, 171 yards, and 2
Yeah,
touchdowns.
that sounds like Randy Moss.
That's Randy Moss numbers.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
All right, so Kenny Pickett, 34 for 52, 327 yards, no touchdowns. It's not bad numbers
not
there.
terrible.
It's not terrible.
That's a lot.
One interception.
I can't believe they threw him that much.
Josh Allen goes 20 for 31 for 424 yards.
That's incredible.
4 TDs, 1 interception. Yeah, you can't.
He's next level.
He is, but there's a lot of those guys in the NFL.
I mean,
There's a lot of
I
them.
agree with that.
There's a lot of those guys.
But I don't think there's that many guys that's on his level.
No, I think
Right now.
you got Mahomes.
Right now, you got Mahomes.
No, you got well, except for last night, you have Lamar Jackson.
Lamar's on that level.
Burrows should be somebody. Last night, neither one of those guys were on that level.
That's a division game, though. You never know how division games are going to play out.
Vikings over the Bears. Vikings still looking good.
Vikings
Kirk Cousins.
Hold on. I said this because, we had Earl on here last week, and he's a big Vikings fan. I told him today, they have the easiest schedule that I've seen.
They are playing nobodies.
They're playing
But
the
they're
Lions.
But they're
and-
NFL football teams. The Lions, Tigers, and the Bears. You got the Bears in there. No Tigers. All right. Patriots over the Lions.
That's
Saints.
bad.
Saints get a win.
Geno was played good, though.
Geno should not have lost. If the guy would have got a punt off,
The guy just,
what was that?
he ran around with the punt.
Looked like he
didn't
was
wanna
just trying to
kick it.
hand the ball off to somebody.
I thought he was going to Pat McAfee it and take off, and then
Yeah, no,
two
he-
guys were there, and he was like,
Yeah, Geno was 16 for 25 for 268, 3 touchdowns.
no
Huge numbers,
interceptions.
yeah. Huge numbers.
Outplayed Andy Dalton and Taysom Hill.
Yeah, Taysom Hill looked better as a running back.
He always does.
The Jets, the Jets, Jets.
Put up a 40 ball.
3-2. That's unusual for the Jets. Unusual. And they're 1-2 at home. They're playing better on the road than they are at home.
Okay, this because Miami's had a tough deal.
They're down to the
Tua,
third string quarterback. I think they got
Teddy Bridgewater, and now they are playing
the
a
water
man
boy.
named
The water boy.
Thompson.
Bobby Boucher is quarterbacking.
Skylar Thompson.
Skylar Thompson.
Skylar Thompson, who went to, do you know?
I don't know.
There's no way. Kansas State. You should have known
Should have
that.
known that one.
I want to talk about the concussions.
Oh,
I feel like this year in football, we have seen more wild, just people like laying on the ground looking like they're passed out and just crazy stuff than I've ever seen in my life. And it's supposed to be the softest version of football that
well,
I've
they
ever
are
seen.
taking care. I mean, they really. If you go look at all of the, I guess, roughing the quarterbacks
Were
or
crazy.
whatever.
Jacoby
Yeah.
Brissett had a crazy one. Tom Brady had a crazy
It looked
one.
like they didn't even get touched, but maybe I don't know what it is. But
They needed to. I'll be.
it's
I
going to be
won't-
touch football before long.
I won't be surprised when they have the
flags on. They're playing flag
the
football.
pennies, when they got the quarterbacks out there in
can't hit-
pennies, can't touch them,
yeah.
or red helmets.
Because they seem to be the ones getting the concussions.
Is
but,
it?
Yeah, they are. And if they look now, Tua's, they know now Tua pretty much had a concussion.
Yes.
They went through the protocols, but they
They
weren't.
fired people over
Yeah, but I think they made some changes to the protocols to make sure that gets straightened out. All right. Tampa Bay over the Falcons, Titans over the Commanders, Texans, Jaguars, 49ers. Come on. Jimmy G. They wanted rid of Jimmy G. They happened to get lucky.
Look
keep
who
him.
they were playing.
I don't care who
They
they're
were
playing.
playing your boy Baker.
But who did they beat last week?
Baker's a night off.
Who
San
did-
Francisco's always good though.
Yeah, but
What are we?
still.
Why are we acting like San
He's
Francisco's
37
always
points. He
good?
put up 37 points. Cowboys. Although he ain't breaking records,
It's not like Jimmy G played great.
but his team's rolling.
His team, are they? They're 3-2.
But since he's been in there, go to the Cowboys.
Yeah, the Cowboys are rolling.
And 22 team. It's their defense. Rush is not making any mistakes,
He's not.
but it's their defense. Their defense is gave up 10 points to the Rams. The Rams, who should have maybe had the best offense coming back into this thing. I don't, I'm impressed by them. I'm not a Cowboys
And
fan.
you know, 10 for 16, 102 yards, a QB rating of 16.
But still, he knows what to do at that spot.
He doesn't turn it over.
All right, so they're 4-0 with him at the spot.
He manages the game.
Dak
Let the
will
defense
be
win.
coming back soon, next week or maybe the week after. What do you do? Yeah, obviously you're going to go to Dak.
Yeah, they already said they're gonna. They're
Yeah,
paying,
you have to
they're
go to
paying them too much money.
It doesn't. Dak he's the man there. So, Eagles, the Eagles 5-0. All of a sudden,
They got so lucky.
all of
Did
a
you watch
sudden,
that game?
that conference has become
The
best-
conference.
the best conference.
Yeah.
They went from the worst to the best.
Did you watch that game?
I did not get to see all of it. I saw a little bit of it.
The Cardinals had a field goal to tie it at the end and just missed it.
I seen that way right.
Went-
Way right.
Just pushed it hard.
And then here's the
But the guy had been practicing that kick.
watched him do it all in practice,
All
kicking it
in
right,
row.
kicking it right,
Yeah.
kicking it right. Ravens over the Bengals or the Bungles. What is it?
I don't know, but they're sitting at the same spot we
They
are.
are. And Ravens are in first place at 3-2. And a showdown with the Browns next week.
Ooh,
Big one. Kind of disappointed in that ballgame. I expected some fireworks.
I did too.
And I got
Nothing.
some.
You almost got what was like a Denver
I
type
saw
of game.
some sort of slowdown game, holding it back.
Joe Burrow, 24-35, 217.
All right, that's enough of that.
Let me ask you a question though. Is football too dangerous? That it's not. There's no way you can convince me it's worth being laid out on a field like that.
I don't know if you probably look at the numbers and you take the percentages of guys that are injured with permanent injuries or disabilities. or
But you
mental
also
disabilities.
can't detect CT until
Right.
somebody's dead.
Right. Well, I don't know about till they're dead. You may be able to do something with it. But anyway,
That's what they said in the movie.
probably so. But it is awful dangerous. However, it's going to be here. They're probably going to keep changing the rules, trying to address it. That's why you don't hardly see any kick returns anymore.
You don't.
That was probably the most violent part of the game, where you got guys
Run
got a
full
50-yard run at you, just as hard as they can go, going to try to kill somebody. So they're kicking the ball in the end zone. I think yesterday the Bengals had their very first kickoff return of the season.
Really?
So 5 games in.
You got, honestly, they can pick whether or not they want somebody to return. Because every kicker in the league can put it
All of a
probably
sudden,
through the
All
uprights.
of a sudden, everybody's got a leg that goes into the stands, kicking field goals from the 35 on the other side.
Kicking field goals from,
Yeah, that's where they're at. But yeah, it is, Steve. But it's just that's what football is. Came a long way before they even knew about concussions.
Yeah.
When you had just
Leather helmets.
leather, then you went to the one bar, and just now
And
you
those
got-
guys were getting paid like $30 a
Oh,
game.
yeah, going out
And
there.
a pack of cigarettes.
And it was just a little smelling sauce woke you up, threw you back out there. You didn't know where you were.
Get on in there.
Yeah.
Champ.
All right, college football. kind of a boring week in college football, but I do have a couple here.
Well, you say that because you are a W fan, and there wasn't a W or Marshall game.
You're right, neither one was on there, but if you go look at it, some for real teams. I think it might be time to get on the Tennessee bandwagon. I know Brian Kelly is probably hating it down there in LSU, but he took a smacking yesterday from them.
40-13?
40-13. Tennessee's rolling. They're 5-0. They're in the top 10.
Is Michigan for real? Because the other day on the podcast, we said Michigan was one of the more overrated teams.
I don't know if you ever saw Fonzie try to say it was wrong. He couldn't get it out. He couldn't get it out. It's hard for me to say Michigan's for real. I can't hardly get that. Michigan's for real. I can't get that out. I don't like them. But maybe they are. Upset South Carolina over UK. UK, I guess, is UK in football. Who they are, they think you're going to get a good UK.
Gas you up, and then
you slide back down. But I'm a little impressed with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Don't like them. 0-2. Lost a pretty competitive game
That's the second time you've had to swallow your words because you are not a Notre Dame fan at all.
Lost to OSU. Pretty competitive game, 21-10. Lost to the Thundering Herd at home. Rolling. Then the quarterback gets hurt. They reel off 3 wins against good competition.
Well, it seems like a common theme in all of football. You lose your starting quarterback, you bring in a backup, and you start winning.
And maybe it is.
Happened for them. It happens for all the overrated and super hyped teams. The Cowboys.
Yeah.
Who knows?
TCU is for real. TCU and Kansas had a showdown. And the Big 12 for the Big 12 lead, basically. And TCU wins 38-31.
What about Texas whooping Oklahoma?
Oklahoma's 0-3 in the conference.
Oh, boy. Send them out on the high.
Send them out. Send them out. Tell them you're not good enough anyway. Go to another conference.
We need you out of here.
If you think you're not winning here to Big 12, say hello to Alabama and Georgia every year.
Every week you got somebody coming
at you. But I'm glad to see that. Now I just hope that Texas loses the rest of theirs.
They were good. You needed them for one. You need them for that one. But then
lose the rest of them. Georgia State surprisingly got some wins now over a good Duke team.
How good is a Duke team? How good can a good Duke team be?
They've been good for the last few years. Competitive in there.
Competitive.
Disappointing is Appy State's slide. Appy State is sliding. I think they were going to be pretty good. They make a big splash at the beginning of the year, and now they lose to Texas State. Texas State.
But it's that.
I thought that's that team that they played in the longest yard. Is that not who that was that Adam Sandler played against?
It was.
Who was that team they played in the
That
longest
was
yard?
Texas State fan.
Yeah, maybe something like that. Not sure who that was.
But that's like you said a couple weeks ago about how weird the college football is.
Middle Tennessee.
You got guys. You got mid majors smacking big team,
and then they can't win in their conference.
Win their conference.
Middle Tennessee goes to Miami, Florida, and then gets crushed 2 straight weeks. Crushed. They crush Miami, and then this past week, UAB pounded them.
So if Miami plays UAB and whoever they got beat by, do they lose those two?
They got to. That's the way the script is.
Do you think Ohio State's for real?
Obviously, they're for real. I don't like them. I don't like them. And it's one that I hope every year. I hope every year when the season starts that if I could get a few good things happen, Ohio State would lose, Notre Dame would lose, Michigan would lose, Alabama would lose. The rest of them, all right, I can have a regular season, but I want those 4.
Why? Why those 4?
Because no matter how good they are or how bad they are, they start out the year as fighting for number 1, 2, 3, and 4. No matter when we see them play.
I think Alabama deserves that.
Maybe so. I don't think we should have a ranking until the 5th week. 5th week. So now, right now you got Kansas, you got TCU is at number 18 or 19 or something. Undefeated. But now they got to climb through everything else.
What Kansas do?
Kansas got beat by TCU 38-31.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Both undefeated coming into that. So they were both like 19 and 17 in that ranking, but they were somewhere in there. But now those 2 teams have to fight to get up there.
And if they lose, if TCU loses a game, they won't make the playoffs.
Because they're too far out of it already. They're so far
17.
down.
Even if they lose one game the entire year, they won't make the playoffs.
So that's how they should stop all those rankings. I know that the bowl championship rankings don't come out until like later in the year, but just even those other bogus rankings that people You got Sports Illustrated, and you got the Scotty Browning ranking. You got whoever's ranking somebody, and they all love it.
I tell you who, I can never buy into the West Coast teams. It's just hard for me to do it. I've never seen them win.
Used to be UCLA and USC.
Back in the Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush days.
They were always, but anymore, I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see UCLA turn the corner and USC turn the corner.
The last Western,
Oregon was good.
Oregon was when they had Marcus Mariota in there.
They were good. Yeah.
That was the last one I've seen. Clemson.
Clemson's always pretty good, and I think that it's going to come down to them maybe, and I think maybe Wake in that in the ACC.
So if you had to call it right now, who's winning the championship?
I would go. If I get to, I'm going to go Alabama or Georgia.
I think Ohio State's got a chance.
I think they do, but I think they do. But I think Alabama or Georgia probably. I don't know that the Big Ten is.
That's a safe bet.
It is. That's an easy bet.
That's a safe bet. All right, now another thing I wanted to do.
Anyway,
Marshall.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Marshall.
I was gonna say Marshall plays Louisiana Lafayette.
Okay.
No, I don't think I think they're 2-3.
We got another Bobby Boucher team coming on. What were they? The Raging Cat? What
they were the Mud Dogs.
Mud Dogs. Yeah.
Hold on.
They were the Mud Dogs.
And yeah.
Okay.
Showed up and won the Boyden Bowl.
Yeah, that's right. The Boyden Bowl.
Marshall, they gotta win.
Gotta win.
They got to win. They can't. Okay, they beat Gardner Webb. Yeah. But at some point, if you want to make a run at a bowl, if you want to make a run at being
all right, if you win 6 ball games, you're going to get. There's so many bowls you're going to get a bowl.
Bad bowls.
Are
we playing for bad bowls?
But I'm just saying, if you're going to get in that, all right. So Marshall right now is next to last in the eastern half of the Sun Belt. Next to last. They're 0-1 in that conference. Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers, James Madison, they're both 3-0. Old Dominion's only played one conference game, 1-0. But anyway, yeah, they've got to win some ball games. I don't know that they can. I don't know if they can climb over that. They haven't played Coastal. They haven't played James Madison. Have they played Old Dominion? They haven't. No. So they're probably, they're looking at some uphill battles right there.
Louisiana Lafayette has not won a game since the second week. They got beat by Rice. They got beat by Louisiana Monroe and whoever USA is.
It's South Alabama.
South Alabama.
Yeah. They're pretty good.
Yeah, South Alabama's pretty good. They're 4-1. Yeah. But this is a must-win for Marshall.
Yeah. I think from here on out, it's almost a must-win for them.
Yeah, you got.
What is their record? 3-2.
3-2.
All right.
You got Louisiana.
To win this conference, it's a must-win all the way.
Not Lafayette. This is Louisiana that they play.
The Raging Cajuns.
The Raging Cajuns. Then they got JMU. Then they got Coastal.
JMU is going to be a dogfight. Coastal.
JMU is 25 in the country.
Right, and they're both those teams are 3-0.
Mm-hmm. Coastal.
Both those teams are undefeated, as a matter of fact. Both those teams are 5-0.
5-0. No, Coastal's 6-0.
Coastal 6-0.
Coastal. That's what
they are. 6-0. They are.
Then they got.
So how does a team like Coastal? I realize they're not big. 6-0. Nowhere on the charts to be in.
It's got to be point. Right. They got to go off who they beat. They've had to beat some bad teams, and they're not giving them any respect. But it's crazy to me too. I don't get it. ODU, even though they beat Virginia Tech early in the year, 2-3, Marshall got to beat them. Marshall has to win out, and it's going to be tough for them. If they want a chance at
to win the conference, and play in the conference championship, yeah, they do. They do. All right.
Who do your boys got this week?
Mountaineers, I haven't even looked at it. Check it out.
Is that how down on them?
Yeah, I'm a little discouraged with them. Moving away from them.
Move it.
Just for the weekend.
So hold on. Are you done with the Neil Brown era?
I think, but I don't think that they are. I think they definitely will have him through the year.
They got Baylor.
Yeah, I don't think that. I don't think Neil Brown's going to last much longer. He'll make it through the year, but I think that's about it for him, unless he turns it around completely.
They got Baylor, Texas Tech, TCU.
Yeah,
it's a tough little stretch right there.
It is.
And with Donaldson hurt.
Yeah.
That
There you
doesn't.
go.
That doesn't.
Yeah,
That's not
he's
good. What you got? What's the score going to be for this Baylor game?
It's gonna be high scoring, but I don't have a clue on that. I think Baylor's probably gonna be favored by 10 or more.
Baylor is favored by 3.5.
No
It's
surprise there.
it's it. Yep.
Okay.
It's in Morgantown.
Well, that'll help. That'll help.
That'll help.
All right, let's say goodbye to Albert Pujols.
Not the way he wants. I don't even know. It's so bittersweet how it ended. He got the crazy 700, but you're losing a wild card when you have 3 home games coming at you.
First game killed him. Go into the ninth inning up 2, and their closer can't. He's not even close. He's all over the place. So anyway, so long Albert Pujols. Was a great career.
He's my all-time favorite.
12 years with the Cardinals. Toured around on the West Coast.
10 years.
Probably wish he hadn't done that. If you really sat down and you talked to him privately, although the money was great.
Is he
don't need the money.
the best all-time Cardinal?
Oh, I don't know. You could say
He's a Golden Glove winner. Oh, missed a field goal.
he is a home run champ. But you're going to go back and look at Stan Musial. You're going to look at Bob Forrest. You're going to look at. There are a whole host. Cardinals are a different organization
that have done what he's done.
You could probably look at Bob Gibson.
But you could also how many
as a pitcher? Bob Gibson probably was as dominant in his era as there ever was. Really close. Stan Musial. When you get Stan the Man, well, that's your name.
Stan the Man.
You're something special. But yeah, you can make a case that he's as good as anybody to play in quite a long time.
He's my favorite. I remember when I was in high school. Was it 2012 that they won it, or was it 11 or 12? And I'm telling you, every time he got up to bat,
You felt like he was going to hit one.
and he did almost. He bounced one off the wall and hit a home
He
run.
was special.
He was special. He was special.
Anyway, they're out. Got the playoffs now. You're down to the teams that's battling out for the conference championships and going on. NBA.
Ooh, I'm glad we can get to it now.
NBA.
I'm glad we can get to
the
it now.
most overrated, antagonistic player ever. He's the most antagonistic player ever, right?
Yeah. Hey, record this right here.
Can we agree
your
on that?
phone.
Can we agree on that?
Antagonistic player ever?
Yes, antagonistic.
Is he?
And the way he carries on in games and argues and complains over every single call ever
So argues. So you're telling me a guy like Bill Laimbeer was an antagonist?
He gets away with things that nobody gets away with in today's world. Bill Laimbeer had a bunch of guys the same way he was. That day and age, everybody was the same way. Today,
So everybody was like Draymond Green.
no, they weren't all like Draymond Green,
You just said everybody was like Bill Laimbeer.
but they were all the same way. Now, Draymond Green is a trash talker from way back, in your face. Jordan Poole was trash talking him. He couldn't take it. Throws the ball at Jordan Poole and hits a trainer's kid.
Yep, that's not
And
good.
that's a campaign, off the campaign movie.
That-
That's a trick that Will
Punch
Ferrell
the
did.
baby.
Punch him. And he hits the kid instead of the guy. Now, you cannot let a guy get up on you like Draymond got up on him. He's got to shove him off. But then, you got to think that guy's going to throw a punch.
That's what I said.
Okay, however, though,
Let me ask
it's
you.
all Draymond Green's fault.
Let me ask you a question. You've got a little bit of a temper to you.
I got it.
Everybody knows that. Have you ever but violently pushed somebody and not expected any repercussions? And it's not like y'all just best friends just playing around pushing each other. He's coming at you with, you can tell there is a bad intention in his eye, and you shove
You know
him.
why I got mad at him?
Tell me.
He's getting on him about his free throws and asking why is he peeing down his leg, you're going to shoot free throws. So he shoots an air ball, and they're chattering. The next day he says something to him. This is the next practice.
I think it's gone back from
He
way
said-
earlier than that.
And he said to him in the practice, like, hey, when the girls at MSU would come and see you, were they impressed by that triple singles you used to get all the time? All those
He
triple
did get a lot of
singles.
triple singles.
So he gets up on him. Ordinarily, at that point in time, when you shove somebody off, you're either ready to punch or you're going to move out
You
of the way.
can't look.
However,
He shouldn't have hit him. But if you push somebody off, you can't just.
But he
stand there like
started it. He got up. He
Okay.
got up on his body. What are you going to do if somebody gets up on your body so close?
that. I'll push and then I'm ready to fight.
But yeah, okay. However, Draymond started. He is the antagonistic.
But let me.
person.
Can I just speak a little bit
Yeah,
on?
go ahead,
Okay.
go ahead.
All right. So
It's done. It's all got.
I don't know. You've probably never watched Draymond's podcast or anything like that.
I wouldn't watch Draymond if he was walking down the street right there.
Exactly. So, Draymond is one of the more intelligent people in the NBA. He is. That's why they bring him on ESPN to talk all the time. He's well spoken. He knows what. He's an intelligent dude. Now here, let me tell you my theory. And this is just from me watching the games last year. Jordan Poole is not their culture. Jordan Poole is selfish. You can tell by watching him play. And that type of selfish is a cancer. Any team I've been on,
I'm not
and
saying
we've had,
that.
and you take a good team with a good core that plays well together, knows how the system runs, and comes in and helps. If you put a cancer in it, it can spread.
I got you.
And Jordan Poole, if you watch, he doesn't care about anything except for shooting the ball.
Look at you smacked little Stevie.
I didn't touch him. He's all right.
All right.
And I think that Draymond's I think that he doesn't like that. And I think he's sick of it.
Okay.
And I think he cares so much about that culture because you can say what you want, but he had just as much as part in building that culture as Steph and Clay. Because if you watch the games, 85% of the game, Draymond has the ball. And he's looking and setting screens and passing, and he's
I don't know about 85%.
85% watch it. He brings
I
the
would
ball
say-
up the court and watches and points people in direction to screen.
He may have it, but I
controls
don't
the
know
whole
about
thing.
85%.
So I think that he is in protection mode right now of his team, of his what he has built. And I don't think he's wrong for hitting him. But I think that it's been spewing because Jordan Poole has been in the media lately. And it's for things that are outside of like what the Warriors stand for. And I think Draymond's a little protective. And I think it's all just rubbing on because he doesn't want. I think he's trying to get him out of there.
All right, I'm not defending Jordan Poole. I don't know Jordan Poole, and I don't care about Jordan Poole.
He
is
might
pro-
be a decent guy. I
He's
don't know.
probably a selfish player. I don't got that about. And as far as Draymond's intelligence, I would say he's probably a pretty smart guy. I would think that most of those guys that got college degrees in there are pretty smart guys. I'm not saying nothing about his intelligence. I'm saying that somebody getting under his skin got to the point he was ready to fight. Whereas the whole rest of his career, he's trying to get under somebody's skin, and it's okay, and he's mouth off. I don't like him. I think he's on the floor. I think he's a punk.
So you wouldn't want him on your team?
No.
You wouldn't take him?
I couldn't stand him.
Oh, I'd take him.
I couldn't
I'd take him
stand
in a heartbeat.
I couldn't stand
He
him. I'm looking for Bill Laimbeer. Going, get Bill Laimbeer out of retirement and let him just knock this guy's teeth out.
Bill Laimbeer is a postman. He looks like a guy that worked at UPS.
He might have
So,
been.
I don't think if he comes into the league right now, I think he would get bullied.
I guarantee you his numbers, look up his numbers, scoring was well above
Draymond Green's?
Draymond's singles. Bill Laimbeer was a player.
I'm not saying he wasn't, but I'm saying if you drop Bill Laimbeer in right now, he's
Well,
getting
right
bullied.
now, right, he's 70 years old.
Obviously, I'm saying if you took him in his prime.
There's a lot of guys like that today's athleticism, and the game has changed. You know, you can't play in the paint anymore. People stood in the paint waiting for you to come to the hole. Jordan, he couldn't come to the rim freely like they do today because Bill Laimbeer's standing in there waiting on you, and Kurt Rambis was standing in there waiting on you. And
Hey, Bill Laimbeer had a bunch of seasons where he averaged 18, 17, and 9.
okay,
That's tough.
It's
he was a player.
That's tough.
I hated him. I hated the entire Detroit Pistons, but they were players. Didn't like him. However, you couldn't take him and put him in because today's game doesn't play with that. They've taken away that kind of play,
Yes, they have.
and it's all now. Whereas you can't touch the superstars now. You throw Jordan back in there. Jordan got beat up every time he played. He went to the basket. He had to pick himself up.
Let me ask you a
can't do that
question.
now.
A lot of people say that LeBron wouldn't have survived back then. Have you seen LeBron?
LeBron could have played back then. Look, LeBron's body.
That's what I'm saying.
But
he wouldn't. He would have ate those.
His mentality today, he would have had. If he grew up in that era, then he would have been used to that. But if you put him today, and just back in that era, and he's going to the whole, it's like. Something out of Space Jam where he's just dancing down the street and somebody hits him with a 2x4 in the head because he thought, well, you can't foul me like that. That's how it was.
I want you to go. I want you to search on
what
YouTube after this. I want you to type in LeBron hard fouls.
I'm sure there's a bunch of them.
People try to tackle him, and he literally just.
I'm sure there's a bunch of them.
And
But
lays them
at
up.
that day and age, at that day,
You had Larry Bird
Kurt-
Robert Parrish punching people in the face.
Kurt Rambis came to the rim. I don't remember which one it was, but one of the Celtics absolutely just hooked him. It was a mud fork ring neck, right across the throat, and fights break out.
I'm telling you, my favorite play ever that I've seen from that era of basketball was when the guy elbowed Kareem, and Kareem it backed up and
stood back and jabbed him. Kareem was a fighter. Kareem's a black belt in karate.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with Kareem.
You didn't mess with him.
How could you? Too long.
Yeah. He's going to keep you at a distance, and then.
I'm glad the NBA's back. I'm glad basketball's getting back around.
I think that's all I got.
Oh, that's all you got?
I think that's all I got.
I got one thing that since we're talking basketball, there is a 18-year-old Frenchman.
7'12".
He's 7'4", and I kid you not, he has a guards game and he
saw
shoots
it.
the ball. They're saying that if him and LeBron James were in the same draft, LeBron James is the number 2 pick. And I don't disagree. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. It doesn't look normal.
I'm not sold yet. I mean, we do have some really good Europeans in the game today.
But
I'm not sold on all of them coming up. You look, probably early was Vlade Divac coming. That was a real player. And then we had some Tony
what about?
Parker.
Hold on, you missed.
Dirk.
You missed. Rest in peace. What's his name? From, I think he was Serbian or Croatian.
Oh, Petrovic.
Petrovic.
Yeah. I'm not sure if he was old. He was right around Vlade Divac's time. And back.
Side note: I had a coach in Slovakia that played on the national team with him when they played.
Dragan Petrovic.
Yeah, when they played Jordan and them.
Yeah. How about that? That's a side note.
That's a side note.
But I'm not completely sold on all of the. I got to see them first.
The only reason I'm sold on this guy,
I saw him. He looks great.
He's playing in the leagues. Like
I know he's in the Euro League. I know.
He's doing it to them.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, Luka did it to them.
Yeah.
And now look at what Luka's doing
I
now.
know. I know.
What they say the other day?
I want to see it translate. I want to see.
What they say the other day? And you said it. I heard you say it.
You got to remind me. I forgot.
Okay, I will. Who was it that said it's easier to score in the NBA?
Oh yeah,
than
that was Giannis.
So
he said the European game's tougher, and that's because it's more physical.
And you don't
have the 3 second the defensive 3 seconds.
and that spreads the whole thing.
Yeah,
out.
and that's how it was a long time ago in the NBA. But anyway, the guy's really talented, really good. I have to see it translate to how good he is.
I think he could be the best ever.
Porzingis,
yeah.
huge, skilled,
Yeah.
can play it all.
But he moved. Porzingis still moved. He moved like a big man.
He's not excelled to the elitist of the players.
He's pretty
good.
He got pretty good.
Okay, and I think maybe the same thing with this kid. Maybe this kid's going to be pretty good in the NBA, but is he going to be that? Anyway,
I think he just moved different.
He might.
Right.
I'm done.
That's all you got?
That's it. I got no more notes.
All right. Shout out to my little man right here, little Stevie B, man. He did good.
He did good.
Number 11.
Look at that smile.
Look at him.
Number
Doesn't
11.
he look just like him? Look at him. He looks just like him. Blue eyes and everything. All right. Well, appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Episode 4 or 5. We didn't
This is
take.
5.
Yeah, 5. Whatever. We'll see y'all next time. Appreciate it. I'm going to go see Caleb with the Clippers. And you should too.
Please.
Because like we've been telling you, Caleb with the Clippers is the best barber around. He can get you right whatever you need. Fade, mullet, we've been saying it. He can do it all. You need to go see him. Caleb with the Clippers. All his stuff will be in the link down low. Go see him. He's located in Man, West Virginia. He'll get you right. Caleb with the Clippers. Go holler at him.